station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now at 9, covering the entire DMV. A carjacking craze, the skyrocketing crime rates of the DMV, new investigations underway, and how drivers can protect their property. And student safety, it's in focus at several DMV colleges. How students at one Maryland school feel as they head back to class tomorrow after 2 people were recently shot. And a losing streak snapped. The Commanders on the road. How the team sized up against the Falcons in Atlanta after DC's coach put last week's loss on his shoulders.
And we've seen below average temperatures for the past couple of days. How much more will we see of that? And when will temperatures return to normal? More details coming up in your forecast.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis this Sunday evening. Your top story tonight. Video you'll only see on DC News Now. This is Ring doorbell footage showing the aftermath of a crash involving a group of kids who stole a car in Montgomery County. Police tell us that they do have one person in custody, but it's just one of many that we continue to cover in our area, including 5 carjackings in DC overnight involving guns, a knife, and 2 Uber drivers victimized. And the thefts are skyrocketing in the DMV, especially among certain used Kia and Hyundais. Our Lex Juarez reports from Montgomery County, where even more juveniles are suspects in yet another stolen car chase.
Well, the car came flying around this corner, hopped the curb here, and then ran straight into the tree and multiple cars that were parked on the side of the road here. The entire thing caught on a neighbor's doorbell camera.
It was pretty startling.
A crash that startled the entire neighborhood just before midnight. Dogs barking after hearing the loud boom and neighbors rushing outside to make sure everything's okay. At the same time, the people who were inside the car scattered.
Yeah, that was kind of odd because they did not look like they were the age of driving.
Montgomery County police officers on scene told us they believe the kids are about 12 years old and the white Hyundai that they crashed, a stolen car. Neighbors' first priority was to make sure everyone was safe, but are unsettled to hear it was a group so young.
What we can do is just be more diligent, having things like cameras and whatnot, which, you know what I mean, honestly, it is 2023 and it's become a necessity at this point. It's sad, but here we are.
Well, neighbors also hope that this can lead to more speed bumps being added in the neighborhood to keep people from flying through here. In Clarksburg, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Lex. Meantime, police are investigating 5 different carjackings that happened overnight in the district involving 2 Uber drivers we just mentioned who were victimized, and several guns and even a knife reportedly at one of those drivers' necks. Police say that 2 Toyotas were stolen, were involved in some of these carjackings, reportedly played out just before 8 p.m. and late into the night at 3:10 this morning. We're going to show you a full screen right here, as we call it, with some more information of the addresses involved. Anybody with information is asked to contact Metropolitan Police. Resources on their website. You can ultimately contact them anonymously. And in the district, stolen car cases are up by a staggering rate, 103% compared to this time last year. Nearly 5,600 alone this year, according to DC police data. Now, police recommend drivers stay alert, park in well-lit areas, contact your local dealership for safety software updates, and consider purchasing anti-theft devices. Some of them are wheel locks. They may be available, depending on supply, at your local police precinct. Happening now, students at Bowie State University prepare to head back to class for the first time after a shooting on campus last weekend. Our Randy Bass is at the university campus tonight, hearing from students and school leaders there. And across the DMV, other schools ramping up security measures in the wake of tragedy.
Bowie State students are still shaken up over the shooting that happened here on campus last week. They tell me tonight they're moving forward, but not forgetting about what happened.
People were running, scattering, so I just had to run. Everybody was running, and then some people were falling on the ground.
I started texting all my friends, asking was everybody okay. Everybody was like, yeah, I just heard shots.
That double shooting still fresh in the minds of students.
Campus leaders gave them the week off to focus on their mental health and taking time to recharge.
It's been almost like a ghost town. Yeah. Like a lot of people went home to, be with their families in this time.
Now there are new safety measures at Bowie State, and students say it sends the right message.
Our university is taking the right precautions to protect us as students.
A larger presence of guards and marked vehicles, stricter security measures at gates and checkpoints, along with an updated campus alert system already in place. Under consideration, gunshot tracking technology, AI weapons detection systems, and active shooter training for students and staff. At Morgan State University in Baltimore, 5 people were shot during campus homecoming celebrations. The school now looking to hire 24 more officers for its police force and adding hundreds of security cameras on campus. In D.C., American University looking at potential changes to its policies after a rise in violence on college campuses. The school is considering arming its campus police officers for the first time. And here at Bowie State, the university is asking students to continue to reach out for support should they need it. They're also asking students to take an active role in helping to keep campus safe. In Bowie, I'm Randy Bass, D.C. News Now.
Thanks to Randy. Meantime, Prince George's County police say that they are seeing a trend of robberies targeting construction workers. Officials say that some crews are robbed at gunpoint at construction sites or while buying tools from Facebook Marketplace. Police believe that there are more victims who may be undocumented.
We have had several incidents where Latino victims have been targeted on construction sites. They're afraid of the police, that we may look into their immigration status, and the police department does not care about that. We want the victims to come forward.
It doesn't make me feel good at all being around as a worker. It's kind of scary to think about.
Police are actively working to find out if those cases are connected. Take a look at these new photos from Montgomery County Fire and EMS. This after a tow truck collided with a heavy rail train last night. Officials say it happened around 11 p.m. at the Linden Lane crossing near Capitol View Drive in Silver Spring. Police say there were no fuel spills from the truck or the train, and thankfully no injuries reported. Today marked the Wheaton Arts Parade and Festival. The event acts as an interactive art gallery full of creations like paintings and floats. Organizers say that they hope the event helps people celebrate Wheaton's diverse cultures and showcase local artists. And now we're stretching your dollar. A new Gallup poll highlights people's holiday spending habits. It revealed 28% of folks would consider early holiday shopping if deals rolled out sooner. 48% said that they would definitely or probably start earlier. 41% of adults said that they intend to start shopping before November. 24% plan to or already started shopping in September. And the U.S. Postal Service wants to make sure your holiday gifts arrive on time. They announced deadlines to get them there by the December holidays. December 16th is your best bet for first-class mail, that deadline, and a new option called USPS Ground Advantage. December 18th for Priority Mail, and for Priority Mail Express, you have until December the 20th. Shipping deadlines for international mail, that may vary. Over to your weather now on DC News Now. One of the headlines of the day, it felt like fall, and it was picture perfect. Derek Bowen is in for Scott Sumner this evening. Hey, Derek.
That it was, and it actually felt a little bit more like late October, early November compared to where we are usually this time of year at 70 degrees. We saw our low close to the average low temperature of 53. We were at 50 today. 63 was the high. Compare that to our normal high of 70 degrees. As we head overnight, temperatures will fall even below that, seeing temperatures going down to around 45 by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Seeing clear skies tonight, helping us drop on down, but then a few clouds may join us later as we head into the day tomorrow. Right now we are clear, 55 in D.C. We have the sunrise tomorrow at 7:18. Sunset will tomorrow night at around 7:28. We have winds west-northwest at 10 miles per hour at the current hour. We're looking at temperatures into the mid-50s here in D.C. 10 degrees cooler there in Waldorf, 45. Switch the 5 and 4 around. We've got 54 in Lexington Park, 54 also in Annapolis, 48 in Baltimore, 45 in Winchester, already down into the low 40s in Orange, Virginia, seeing those very chilly temperatures overnight. They're going to expect temperatures going down into the upper 30s for portions of the Shenandoah Valley and portions of the central Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. As we head over the next couple of days, we're going to see temperatures return to the normal for this time of year, going up into the upper 60s and lower 70s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But in between, on either which side of that, we'll have temperatures below average. We have, of course, Monday and Tuesday that we'll start out the work week with, but also we have a cold front coming by the time the end of the week comes, and that's going to send temperatures down back into the 50s next Sunday.
That video and indeed the sound showing a U.S. fighter jet taking off from the USS Gerald Ford in the eastern Mediterranean Sea near Israel. This as the U.S. military continues to monitor the situation in the Middle East. Meantime, back home in D.C., the U.S. Senate is preparing to push a package of wartime aid to Israel. But progress on that front likely stalling because of nobody elected Speaker of the House. And Secretary of State Antony Blinken made a trip to Saudi Arabia this weekend to find ways to help people trapped in the middle of that war. Blinken stepping up diplomatic outreach across the Middle East for international response to avoid the Israel-Hamas conflict expanding. President Biden spoke to the Palestinian president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to allow humanitarian aid into the region. This all comes as Gaza residents are evacuating before an anticipated Israeli offensive. Meantime, officials say that Gaza hospitals are expected to run out of emergency fuel within the next 2 days. The war has now claimed the lives of around 3,600 people, including 29 Americans. Turning now, actress Suzanne Somers has died of cancer just 1 day shy of her 77th birthday. That's according to her publicist. Somers, known for her roles in the sitcoms Three's Company and Step by Step, had been battling breast cancer for over 23 years. In addition to her very successful career as an actress, Somers was also an author, businesswoman, and a health spokesperson.